What's going on, everybody? This your boy King Germ, one half of Pod and Saved Our Marriage. Each and every Friday, Queen Germ and myself drop an episode to show the people how Pod and Saved Our Marriage. Now, we're not like most married couples. Most of the time we disagree, but that's the beauty of the show. So, when you get through listening to Sparrows on the Review, come give us a listen. Each and every Friday on any DSP, go look for Pod and Saved Our Marriage.
Man, oh man. 2019 was an amazing year for me, and then it started getting towards the end of 2019. I remember in November, Stacey and I were stationary in Charleston, West Virginia, and we didn't care too much about the news, but we went to this place in Milton. It was some kind of breakfast place in Milton, and there was a newspaper, and it was telling a story about something that happened across overseas, and nobody paid much attention to it. We put that down, never thought any more about it. December rolls around. People start getting sick.
Stacey gets sick.
And I'm talking about, this was like...
Worse than my normal yearly sickness.
I had to go to hospital.
Right. Like it was so bad. You're going. You don't have a choice. Let's go.
And from that point on, then we entered 2020. Mm-hmm. In 2020.
So let's go back to the hospital visit. Negative for flu. Negative for strep. Negative for pneumonia. Everything was negative. But gave me antibiotics, sent me home. And then we hit 2020.
And 2020 starts what will go down in history as the pandemic. Mm-hmm. The pandemic shaped, molded, and moved people in different ways. It changed, to me, I want to just say this is my most profound statement I've ever said in a podcast. The pandemic changed the world.
It did. And then we're going to throw in a little PSA. This is our experience. This is our opinion. We are not giving you this podcast to say that we feel what you believe is incorrect. We feel that you believe is right. Everybody is going to have a different experience, and everybody's going to have a different opinion. If this is something that you don't feel like listening to, it will not hurt our feelings if you go ahead and just skip over it. We would prefer you to play through it. Just put us on mute so you can't hear us jabble. So that way, everybody always wants to get that play. But like I said, everything that we are going to talk about is going to be our experience and our opinions only.
Now, what I will say about the state of West Virginia, we were the last state, and this is something that you can go look on record. Mm-hmm. We were the last state to be turned into a COVID state.
We were the last state to correctly identify a positive test. I will not say that we were the last state to have it, because I disagree. Because there was too many people because they wouldn't even test for it. Because remember, I got sick again in February, and you made me go to Quick Care this time, and I tested positive for the flu. And at that time they said, "Oh, you can't have flu and COVID, so we're not even going to test you for COVID." They refused to test me. And it was another one of those where I was bedridden for 3 or 4 days, and I had never been that bad, but they refused to test me for COVID.
Right.
And so I think that I had it, and they just didn't do it. I don't know if they just didn't want to report it, if they wanted to be the last state, what it was. I don't know.
So what I wanted to do here, because we were a review show, is there's certain things that didn't pick back up mm-hmm. from the pandemic.
Right.
One thing in particular, and we're going to go into the hospitality services real quick, because this is an essential thing. A lot of stuff closed up. Mm-hmm. So you had to if you wanted food out, they did fix it and you could pick it up, which I have no problem with that, because that was probably the best service we got on a lot of things, because people really did take their time to make sure the food was right. But when we started opening the doors back open, this new sense of some type of entitlement, because people were at home and they were finding out new skills and things they could do. I love the work at home crowd. Work at home crowd, do what you do. I love you guys. But I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people that worked in hospitality services, decided that they wanted more money and they didn't want to come back to work. Mm-hmm. So these companies, and I will say in the first 6 months after that, there were explosions in rates of pay for people.
Right.
But the quality of food service, the quality of being hospitable to others This is from hotels to everything else that I do in my travels and everything.
Right, because you had a job that didn't shut down because you were technically, you weren't
I was an essential
medical
worker.
professional, but you were still considered an essential worker because, you were going in and you were stocking shelves and rebuilding stores. And, I don't think you ever got pulled out because of the pandemic. And so, yes, you would eat out. You would need to go to stores. You would stay in hotels. And, just the difference in all of that stuff. And our experience, we had a lot of places that were really? Just because it's a pandemic, you're going to act like this?
Yeah. And I mean, it was some places. And even the local employer, Walmart. Walmart got crazy for a little bit because they used to have you had to come in at a certain time in the morning. And heck, we would work through the night. And then in the morning, you couldn't even go to the same Walmart you were at. You had to go across town to another one to go shop because they didn't want you back in there after all these cleaning processes. Because I learned how to clean so well during the pandemic that heck, I lost all cleaning skills after when they said the pandemic was done. I went doo-doo and that shit was gone. Sanitize
because they would check your temperature every day before you even went in the store.
Yeah, lunch break too. It was a long time. Yes.
Which at the time we didn't completely have a grasp of the virus. So for them to take precautions, I was grateful for that.
Yes. Because
I have a very weak immune system. So I was always one of those spazzy persons. I was a mask wearer, hand sanitizer every day. Anytime you would come home from work, straight into the shower, clothes straight into the washer. I was that spastic. And, we got very lucky with the whole exposure to COVID thing. It wasn't until almost the end when they were fully opening things up, and that's a completely different story of how I got it.
Yeah, and that's when I caught it.
Right.
And initially, that's one thing I will say about the whole deal. The whole run through COVID, the major run, I'm talking about the main event status, I never got COVID.
Right, yeah, you were in the dead center of Walmart's the entire time.
Dead center of Walmart's. Boom, boom, boom. People coming in. All this crazy.
And I didn't get it.
Right.
And I was surprised that I didn't get it. We are going with the theory that I didn't have it the first 2 times. So, and, you were working in a Big Lots when we got it initially the first time. And it wasn't even because of the exposure to your work.
It was some coworkers, let me get that out there, and that coworker is no longer part of the process. Right. And I will say this about it, my experience with it. I know I had COVID prior in 2019. Right,
because you had it the second time I had it.
Right, but with the way that my body works, I'm not saying I'm stronger than anybody else, but if I've got a little sweat, hell, I'm sweating right now.
Right.
I think nothing of it. I drink some water, or back then I would drink the lovely Hawaiian punch, and I'd go diabetic, not knowing that.
Diabetes got you.
Yeah, then I go diabetic and I can't do it anymore, but that was my elixir. I drink that and keep getting up.
It was that and Canada Dry.
Canadian Dry. Yeah, Canadian Dry.
I got you, Stacey.
And I would just, like I'm doing right now, I would sweat through the masses, and the only reason I'm sweating is because there's a hot lamp cooking me like a piece of chicken. And the thing is that, for me, the second time was the worst. I felt like I was going, because you weren't with me when I had that.
The Big Lots?
Yeah.
No, because I was feeling sick, and I was pissed. I was mad because of how it came in. Right. And you took me home, and I laid in there. And then I was finally feeling better, and then you're like, I'm dead to the world, basically.
So with that, it was gangster. I laid out of work, and I that's one thing that I will say about me on a work schedule. No one can ever take this away from me. I actually go to work.
Right.
If I lay out of work, I've got to be almost dying. I don't even lay out of work if someone passes away. I'll take time off for them, but I work through everything.
Right.
And the thing was, I was so sick that my clothes, it was fucking, I will never forget this, 12 degrees outside, and I was sweaty.
Right. Because you missed, 2 or 3 days of work?
2 days, that's it. And actually, it was a half a day and then 1 full day. And I sat there and I nursed myself back to health. And this is silly. It was water, orange juice, Gatorade.
Right.
No food.
And the funny thing about that is, even though you called out, your employer's like, yeah, you don't have to worry about the test. Just come back to work whenever you can.
You just come back whenever I was feeling better.
And that's when we knew that the restrictions in expectations were going downhill.
Right. I knew that employers were for the streets then, and they didn't care. And then
Certain ones.
Yeah, and then it carried on later on down the road, even up until this day, because people don't treat it like they used to.
Right.
And you do whatever you want with it. I'm not judging anybody. That's your personal business,
Right.
but whatever on that one. So then the next thing that goes around is like you go inside and outside of hospitality services. I'm talking about convenience stores now. You go in convenience stores during this time. And my God.
During the lockdown.
During the lockdown.
Okay, yep.
And those were they were more clean. They were cleaner than hospitals. And they had barriers up, and they had things. The greatest place to me was that any Chinese restaurant we went to, they had they still got the shit up. They got the fiberglass and everything still up.
A lot of places still have that. More so, I mean, you spend all of that money to get everything into place, so you might as well continue to use it.
Right. So shout out to every Chinese restaurant, because you don't have to advertise, but we know that you're going to keep our food safe.
Right.
Yeah. And anyway.
And if anybody does a good catering in West Virginia, hit me up.
So the thing is, like, going further and further with it, I'm going to the present day now. So today, you go to a restaurant, and this is not everywhere.
Well, I guess we should, before you go into today, we need to talk about lockdown restaurants.
Okay.
So a lot of places did shut down, and it was takeout only. And then when they slowly started to open them back up, it was awful, but we understood. Like the one time we went to Applebee's one time, and they told us it would be how long? Do you remember the one I'm talking about?
Yeah,
it was me, you, and Steve.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half.
Yeah, and they're like, well, we don't have any booths. It'll be like so long of a wait for a booth, but you can go to the bar if you want. We're like, okay, why not? They're like, and they had almost every table empty. And then the lady, I think it was a lady, they were apologizing because, we don't have any workers. Nobody wants to come and work. Nobody wants to be here. Nobody wants to help out. And we completely understood. And that was in the great state of Ohio.
Yeah.
Which they still have an issue for whatever reason, because nobody wants to freaking work over there.
Shout out to Cleveland on that one, for real.
Like
Cleveland,
I said, that's
Akron,
my personal opinion.
Yeah,
But,
Cleveland, Akron, out there, I can skip that. I can go to Columbus and go to Cincinnati and get something to eat. Cleveland is exactly where I'm talking about. I'm not throwing shots no other place. When we
had issues at everywhere we went to in Ohio. You can't tell me it's just a certain place. Everywhere we went to in Ohio, our wait time was triple.
Yeah,
what it was anywhere else.
Shout out to North Carolina. Shout out to North Carolina.
We went to Boston, and our wait time was half of what we wait for now.
Right, because we were, Boston. I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, Boston. Damn, right. I'll be traveling all over the place.
Anywhere we went to at a restaurant in Ohio, it was double, triple the wait time. And because people didn't want to do it. And I understand, I was grateful that they were open. I didn't care how long it took to make my food. As long as it came out warm, you keep my drinks refilled, we're good to go.
Right.
Don't stop apologizing for being busy. Today, though, if that happens, go hire more people.
Yeah.
Hire more people or shut down. Sorry.
And that's what's happened to a lot of places. A lot of places have not beat the pandemic because, no offense,
like it goes back to, like you said, everybody wants more money. Like they want to make $15 an hour, and then they expect you to tip on top of that.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'll say this: the price gouging that went on during the pandemic was fine because supply and demand was low. So charge me a little extra because you had to get it there and they had to get it safe. I get that because the truck drivers had to be more cautious and people unloading, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But why keep these same prices higher? And everybody knows that I'm a projector person, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this. They just dropped the price back down on the screen. But it was awfully funny that during the pandemic, I bought this screen for $55. We're getting towards the end and people are getting outside again. They're charging $85 for it. And me and a bunch of other people on Reddit and stuff, we write to Walmart, blah, blah, blah. Say, drop it back down to $65. Why in the hell did it have to go up to $85?
Because people are greedy.
Because people,
because workers are out here asking for more money. And I get it. I want to make more money too. I really do. But you also understand that when you ask for more money, the cost of stuff is going to go up. We might get a 2% pay increase, but we're also taking a 5% increase in other stuff.
Right, your standard of living jumps,
Yeah.
regardless. So that was one thing I noticed. Milk went up and down. Milk is one thing. Milk and gas, you can never put a gauge on it because sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
'Cause
That's
4 years ago, it was $1.25 that I paid for gas or
It's
something.
shit. One day in Ohio, I paid for gas. It was like $1.01, and I made a
Yeah.
TikTok video or a Snapchat video for it because I was amazed. With that much gas, I could have drove to California for
Right.
real.
And then even one without the discounts that we get, I think we found it was $1.98.
Mm-hmm.
And this was sometime during the pandemic, and now we're at over $3.50 a gallon.
Again,
Yeah,
you know, it ain't.
I mean it is election season, so
Yeah, so it will be a little bit high. So politics are another deal.
Right.
We got some great shows, some friends that do those, so you can definitely talk to them about that. But the thing like that got me was like even prices increased on video games, and we'll use a Nintendo Switch from the infancy till before the pandemic. Every game was $49.99. $50 is understandable for a AAA title like Super Mario. You're going to pay that. You only get discounts on that once in a
Right.
blue moon, so that's fine. But now they're $59 and $69. And the last time I paid $69 or $70 for a game was back in the 90s. And if you inflated that price to now, I probably paid $110 a game back then.
And you can't sit there and tell me that you need to charge that much just to make sure you get your cost back, because you're creating the game and you're reselling it. You're making carbon copies of those games. So quit being greedy is my thing.
Right, and with that whole concern, that's like made me a different gamer because I used to go out there
Right.
and I would buy them at a
As
decent
they drop.
drop.
You would buy them as you drop.
Yeah, because I didn't care $50.
Right.
I didn't care if it was something I really wanted.
Right.
Now some bum ass title, get that shit on Black Friday.
Right.
But like right now, it's a game that we both know I want, and I'm gonna want it on all three systems.
Yeah.
And it's down to $30, but I know it's gonna get to $20,
Right.
and I'll buy all three for the price of what one would have cost.
Right.
And anyway, Alpha Games, even clothing and different things like that. So many things skyrocketed in price. And then the evolution of the t-shirt, because I'm a t-shirt guy. T-shirts were $6.98 and $7.98. Why in the Sam Hill did Walmart put them at $8.98?
Yep, 8 and 9.
Yeah, 8 and 9. What the hell changed to make you...
Because everybody needs clothes. I mean, not everybody, because, some people don't care and they're going to go out there and walk in the nude, which, more power to you. Just don't come and hug me. But everybody needs clothes, so they know that you're going to buy it. And yes, a lot of people recycle, reuse, that stuff like that. But for the people that do go out and buy it, like, if we decide to go to Florida tomorrow and I rip my flip-flops, they know that I'm going to need another pair of flip-flops. So they're not going to sell it for like $5. I'm going to go into a store and have to pay $20 for a flip-flop because I have no other option.
Right. Now, yeah, and I can go with that on a tourist thing. And then here's the other thing, like with travel in general. Travel's changed. Travel, which I like that it's secure and they make sure everything's, there's cleanliness to it. But travel is a hassle. It's more of a hassle to get on a plane than for me to drive wherever I need to get to. Which, in my opinion, that's
Why?
just my opinion.
But it has nothing to do with cleanliness of the delays in the travel.
I don't know.
Let's hash this out. Like that, I need to understand what you're saying.
All right, so basically is this. When I used to get on an airplane, I know we always had to deal with TSA because that's been 9/11. So TSA was smooth, but now, like, getting through pre-checks, you have to make sure that you're fully certified before you get on a plane, before you even get through there.
Not anymore, no. That's only if you're doing international flights. Like, I flew down to Florida during the pandemic, kind of. It was towards the end of the pandemic. They were releasing everything. You had to have a mask on when you were on the flights. And to me personally, there was no difference in when I flew down by myself from Charleston than when we flew down this year.
Okay.
Except I had to have a mask on the entire time whenever I went down myself.
So maybe it was just me. Maybe I just like traveling in a car.
You do. You like the get up and go life.
Right, because when I I'll never forget, and I'll tell y'all this. I was during the pandemic. I had to go to New York, and I hadn't been in New York in like 10 years. So I crossed and I'm talking about upstate New York, like the western part, the mountains, the Himalayas of them, as I call them. And when you crossed over, there was a McDonald's during the pandemic, and the fucking cops were blocking off the McDonald's. They were looking at license plates. They were asking questions. That was one thing that was kind of scary because you had to have your essential worker paper.
New York was very heavy with the counts, though.
Yeah, there was a lot of things going on there.
Yeah.
So
exposures, deaths, because it's a larger area, and we're not saying that there aren't larger areas than New York, but in our area.
Yeah. So going to the now, hospitality wise, I just want to talk about that. I'll make a quick spot. We have not gotten back to 2018 standards or prior.
No.
We have eaten at various restaurants, and I think and this goes across to Denny's, to diners. We've eaten mom and pop places. Essentially, going to a mom and pop place, I used to feel a little bit more friendly. Going into mom and pop places now that have a certain accord, not naming any names, you'll hear about this later on, they don't treat you like it's mom and pop. They don't have that friendly standard anymore. I haven't been to a mom and pop place that gets my money anymore because I can go to Red Robin, and this is no jab at you, Applebee's, but I go to Red Robin, I don't have no mistakes. The endless drinks keep coming.
Right.
That's one place I'll say service never died. Applebee's.
And I feel like I can say something at Red Robin's, like your fish, for example, it came out one time and it wasn't done all the way. So you asked them to redo it. I feel like I can ask them to redo that at Red Robin, but like what happened to us yesterday at Applebee's, I felt like if I would have sent it back, then, I might have found another hair in my next bowl of salad.
Right. Or some type of gratuitous from them.
Right.
And then gratuitous, you know what I mean when I say that, people.
Extra protein.
Yeah, extra protein. And then the one thing that I'll say that never changed, McDonald's never lost its whip.
Mm-hmm.
Burger King, on the other hand, I got a question. Now, our local ones in West Virginia, shout out to Burger King in West Virginia. Because to me personally, Burger King makes a dry-ass hamburger, and I like it with slobs of ketchup and different things on it.
I do enjoy me some Burger King.
Yeah, but outside of that, I don't need none of that.
Right.
Arby's, god damn. Arby's got to be quiet. Arby's.
I know you got the meats, but not the right kind.
Yeah, you might have the meats, but you ain't got the prices. Why is your shit so high? I can go eat at Arby's and I can go to
Arby's has always been that way, though. But it has always been more expensive than any of the other places.
But what I'm saying, that shit's so high, we can go eat at Texas Roadhouse for the same price that we eat at Arby's. And it ain't because of our size or nothing like that, because I'm the sedan size of a husky man or
But
compact.
no, and that's even, like, you'll do your sandwich. What do you get?
I get that au jus sandwich, the
you get
dipping
the au
sandwich.
jus. I get a regular roast beef. We get mediums.
Yeah.
You add a chocolate shake.
A mozzarella stick.
And then we'll get mozzarella sticks. And that's $30.
Yeah. So.
And like we'll go to Texas Roadhouse and we'll spend $36.
And I got a steak.
Yeah. And we both get steaks.
Yeah. So the difference there, and I will say this, in the sit down restaurant realm, just getting off fast food real quick, Texas Roadhouse is always, those type of things are hit and miss.
Right.
But I will say this, Texas Roadhouse has stayed consistent. Another place is...
And it also depends on the state, too.
Right.
Because the West Virginia chili sucks.
Yeah, West Virginia chili, that y'all fucking suck. But North Carolina, come on, let's throw it up. Take your
North
shirt
Carolina
off.
and the Florida one we went to.
Ooh.
They were freaking...
Chili's.
The best.
Especially down there, shout out to Wilmington, North Carolina, because y'all know how to do it right.
Chili's. Hit us up for that sponsor.
And did we eat the one at Ocean Isle? Hell yeah, that's where it started.
Yeah.
That's where all this shit started. Ocean Isle, North Carolina. Shout out to the beach out there.
Well, because I don't even remember where it was. I ate the chicken bacon ranch quesadilla, and I had it at work. And the first time I had it, it was good. It wasn't the best, and I just thought it was because I walked from the mall to my work. And it had cooled down and I ate it later or whatever. But it still had good flavor.
But you know...
So I convinced you to try it when we went to Ocean Isle.
Yeah. Or what was it? Did we go there before? We went there. It was either that or Wilmington. But whichever one, we were balling on a budget. We were balling on a budget and we ate there like... Look, audience.
Right, yeah, because you were mid-pay period and just getting back to work. So we were a little tight.
We were balling on a budget, and this is what was crazy. We ate that shit. One day we ate it for lunch and dinner.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it's enough. You get your serving of soup.
Yeah.
You get your quesadilla. And do you get a side too?
I think it was chips or some shit. It was something else. Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever it is. We only eat half of the quesadilla at a time.
Yeah.
And so we'll fill up on the chilies, or you get the enchilada soup, and then we'll eat half of our quesadilla, and then I'll have that shit for a snack or dinner if we eat it early enough, or I'll turn around and eat the leftovers for my lunch the next day.
Yeah, so shout out to Chili's, because I'm thinking about Chili's.
We're just going to have to move to Wilmington.
Yeah.
So we can have that Chili's.
And so I can have that amazing boathouse for a night. The boathouse on the river. But anyway, so finishing up all this, because we've gone into a lot.
It's all right. We're just rambling.
Here's the thing I wanted to say about this. Pandemic was an experience. It was a lifestyle change. It did a lot in the world. But
I was okay with it, though.
Yeah, I was okay with what happened for us during the pandemic.
For us, yes.
But I need some things to kind of get a rationalization to them. Like, let's have common courtesy come back into the world.
Yep.
Common courtesy was killed on January 1st, 2020.
Right. And don't forget that some people, even though this whole pandemic thing is essentially over and not a whole lot of people don't care about it anymore, please keep your distance. Like, I shouldn't feel your body heat when you're standing behind me in a Goodwill checkout line.
Show enough.
Shout out to the lady at the Clarksburg Goodwill next time I'm on.
And shout out to Clarksburg, because we're not talking about the actual city of Clarksburg. We're talking about that shit that's out there that they call Bridgeport, even though Bridgeport is my favorite high school in football in the state of West Virginia. So on that note, I'm JR.
And I'm Stacey.